truth is gonna change your life. Open up eyes, clear to see Christ. Ex-church traditions that limited the mission took away the vision, causing mass division. Sent me in the wild just to gather his children. Church is not a building, truth needs revealing. Fivefold ministry purpose is to build the body, make kingdom kids. Kingdom kids. Kingdom kids.
Come on.
Kingdom kids.
Come on. Follow me. Follow me. Follow me.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of No Ordinary Podcast Experience. We are your hosts. I'm Minister Corey Dixon. This is my lovely, beautiful, talented, and anointed wife chilling in the cut, Gwendolyn Dixon.
Hey, y'all.
Hey, y'all. So as you know, we're on part 4 of our marriage series, Kingdom Marriage series, and it's been quite the journey.
Yes.
We answer our questions before you. These haven't been rehearsed. They're in live and in real time. Even to stay true to that, I resist the urge to look at them through the week because I want to give you a real presentation of our answers, nothing prepared, right? We want to give it to you raw because we know that's how life happens in an instance.
Yeah.
And so that's part of the reasons we want to keep it 1,000 with you. It's not being lazy. It's just, again, to give you unadulterated answers because those answers are what's going to be needed to help get you through.
And one of the things that I love most is that it's really healthy dialogue.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it allows us to be able to see every couple. Thank you guys, first of all, that has sent in your Q&A, the answers to the questions, and I'm able to start seeing the enemy in the answers. Does that make sense? In some of the answers.
What do you mean?
I'm able to see where there is a common denominator,
Mm-hmm.
in every marriage. And then I'm able to see the grace, the favor, what I mean? Just the covenant of the marriages.
Right.
So it's really, really dope that God would just give us this assignment and just to be able to see why it's so important that we do stay tapped in. So for this this entire series have just really been blessing me in many ways. So thank y'all for tuning in and participating, and I'm ready.
It's definitely been challenging for me.
Yeah.
Because I carry these answers off camera, and
Mm-hmm.
some of the answers on camera carry off camera to open bigger discussions, broader discussions, more digging. And that's what we want to get to. We want to eradicate the roots. We want to eradicate the lies, the errors, the opinions, the things, right, that we brought into this marriage. And we want to strip that down into we see what we have together.
Yeah. And that's the biggest thing, like you said, just with the reflecting, it's a matter of a lot of times we talk about like insecurities, and that's a good way to be able for me to just kind of explain what this particular section is. And like Corey said, a lot of times we hear from our unhealed places, and so we know that healed people hear different.
Mm-hmm.
And so a lot of times in marriage, it's a matter of what was said versus what was actually said versus what I heard.
Right.
And when you reflect on that, a lot of times it's just miscommunication, not because it wasn't delivered correctly, but because of how it was heard incorrectly.
Mm-hmm.
And so these we got to dive into these questions. So it's been a great process.
So it has definitely been that. So again, this is our 34 questionnaire that through the Holy Spirit, my wife was able to construct. We got answers back from some of the OGs who've been married for decades.
Oh gosh.
We want to arrange a special segment just to go over some of those answers. Of course,
Right.
We won't speak to the names because we're not being nosy, but we want to give you the answers to show you that even at year 20, even at years 30, there's still some milestones, there's still some
Yeah.
things that you have to overcome.
Yeah.
One of the beautiful things that I've heard is you got to get to know someone at that specific age and
Yeah.
time
Yeah.
because they're no
Absolutely.
longer who they used to be.
Mhm.
They're
Mhm.
becoming.
They're becoming, and that is so true. Just even the answers have blessed us because that, like Corey said, they're seasoned answers. They got way more season on them than we do. So it is. It's been a great process. That's all I can say because it's a process.
It is a process,
Yeah.
and it's such as life. Life is a process. Every day is a process.
Yeah.
So let's jump right into it. We're on segment number 4.
Mhm.
It's called reflection. Now, last week we spoke on reality, and we got real, right? We got naked before each other. Definitely remembering in Scripture when it says that after God created Adam and Eve, they were naked and were not ashamed.
Yeah.
And that's the point we want to get to in our marriage, in our relationship, so we could be completely transparent and not be ashamed,
Mhm.
right?
Mhm. Mhm.
And I think that's the key to longevity. And they were both naked and were not ashamed.
Yeah. Yeah.
So what did you learn?
So this question, what did you learn? If you go back to 3, it's like the reality. Um, and then so what I have learned so far is something I say often, and that is marriage has shown me more about me, my unhealed places, the things that I still have to ask God to um, just burn out of my heart. Things that I still have that has to still be transformed. And so it's just shown me way more about me than it ever could have you. Not that it hasn't shown me you, but shown me you more, like I said, in my rib.
Mm-hmm.
Um, scenario, the way that I could get analogy where it's like, because I come from you inside, I'm able to see a lot of inner
Mm-hmm.
that you don't really have. You're not able to see
The blind
the
spots.
blind spots. So that's how I see you. But for me, it's just been what I that's what I've learned.
So what I've learned is some of the things that you said. I've learned a lot about myself. Um, so I'm watching a show right now called The Flash, and The Flash. Sometimes he runs back into the past to change the past so he can change the future. So one of those things that I realized is I brought a lot of past bondage and baggage into the present situation, and I'm having Holy Spirit, because we know that God is the same yesterday, today, and forever,
Mm-hmm.
to reach into those wounds,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm asking Him to heal me of feelings of abandonment, heal me of feelings of not being good enough,
Mm-hmm.
of not being adequate. Because as I spoke last week, at sometimes I start to withdraw when I feel like I'm not adding up. I just give up in the moment, and pull back altogether. Um, that's what I've learned about myself, but I also understand how that's unfair to you. We spoke about expectations, and I think that's another unmentioned expectation is not that I expect you to be so understanding to the point that you allow it, but I have an expectation of be patient with me.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes that patience is it can be stepped on a lot, right? So when we're dealing with people, but I think the difference is knowing that I realize that there's something not right.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Rather than saying, hey, just deal with it. It's like I'm dealing with it. Just bear with me. Pray for me. So that's something that I've learned, and I also learned this too. Um, Something you told me before is just like, why do I got to catch all the hell?
Mm-hmm.
Whatever I'm dealing with in life, whether it
Mm-hmm.
pertains to our marriage or something else is like, why do I got to catch the hell? And I think because it's a reflection, it's a oneness. I
Mm-hmm.
think I treat you the way I treat myself sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
That's good.
So, and I think that's the answer to that. But again, learning to heal and be healed from self and being patient with ourselves helps us to be patient with our mate.
Yeah.
That's what I've learned.
Yeah, that's good. And if we did not mention it, I believe Corey did say we are on section 4. It is reflection number 16. We just answered, and we are going to move on to 17.
Okay.
If you guys would like this, we did post this on our um, Facebook page, which is Kingdom Kids Nope, and we also posted it on TikTok. So I'll try to reshare that. But we are on number 17, and it says, how did you define your role? And did it align with God's design or your own expectations?
I think we've answered this a lot of times of how we used to define our roles, and I've spoke to it before. You know, I couldn't really. Everything was surface. You know, it was checkbox. Be a
Mm-hmm.
husband, be a provider, be a protector. But then when it gets down deeper to it, but am I protecting your emotions, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Am I being a good steward of your emotions? Even in provision, you know, am I providing the things not necessarily financially what you need? You know what I'm saying? So I'm able to look at it from a different scope, um, and not so much what you can see on the outside, what you can touch,
Mm-hmm.
but those things on the inside. So I'm beginning to redefine husbandry that way, and I believe it aligns with God's design simply because He said it's not man for good for man to be alone, and so He established a helpmate for him. And again, understanding what a helpmate is truly,
Mm-hmm.
rather than what I thought it was. And again, I just thought it was like somebody like, give me an assist, pass this,
Mm-hmm.
help me. But it's more than that. The helpmate is to really allow you to see you. You
Mm-hmm.
know what I'm saying? And
Mm-hmm.
offer the best presentation of God's design for you,
Mm-hmm.
for them, for y'all.
Mm-hmm.
So
Okay. Well, the way that I would answer this, Beb, you want to read it again?
how did you define your role, and did it align with God's design or your own expectations?
So, the way that I defined my role was um, pretty much initially, it wasn't anything that I felt like I was doing or needed to do better. Um, we know that I'm a builder, I'm a cheerleader, I'm encouraging. Uh, as far as like, I made sure, you were okay, especially in your darkest hours. You know what I mean? Driving down the highway, I could sense when you went through emotional things, when you were just in those really dark places. I came to your home, cook, clean, all of that. So in my mind, the way that I defined my role was really, I didn't feel like I needed to change anything. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Um, and so it was nothing that's how I define my role. Keep doing what you're doing. Um, and I just attached a ring, a piece of paper, and um, a label to it. But other than that, I didn't. That's how I define my role. Oh, you're good. You don't need to change anything, and that was my role. Keep being her. And so it did not align with God's expectations. It did not align with His. It did not align with His design, because there were so many things that I left out of. Some of the good qualities. I won't say that they were all bad, but I remember telling you one time, um, it's like God had to show me where I was growing up with my family and all of the whatever, whenever we had family fallouts, what have you, um, how I was able to easily forgive them. But then if me and you had a disagreement, I would I took it so hard, and it was so hard for me to find forgiveness. And so God had to show me where um, it was because for some reason, like I was saying, I made you my husband, but I never made you family.
Hmm.
If that makes
It
sense.
does make sense. You
And
made me.
so, yeah, it was all of the things that I came into here, into our marriage, believing, and this was the role. You were going to be my husband. I was going to be your wife, but there was no defining of God's design for that
Hmm.
and what that entailed, which is so many other things. More of what God's design is, and less of what my expectations is ultimately the result of then and now.
So you mentioned you made me a husband, didn't make me family. Do you
Mm-hmm.
remember when I used to tell you something similar to that? When it was just like when it came to disagreements and then with the kids, I was like, you make me feel like it's y'all plus me.
Yeah, it was.
You
It
know what I'm
was.
saying?
Yeah. But that was because, again, I felt like as long as I was doing all of the attentive things that I thought defined my role for
Yeah.
you, that was all you needed.
Hmm.
You just needed the wife part. Does that
Hmm.
make sense?
Hmm.
So that's what I'm explaining. I'm
Right.
describing the wife part.
Right.
That surface, superficial, um, again, role that I thought that was all you needed. Like you only get the wife part,
Hmm.
but they get the family part,
Hmm.
because
Hmm.
they've been here longer.
Hmm.
They know me more.
Hmm.
They were here before you.
Right.
Those things. So not understanding the difference in it's me and you against the world,
Hmm.
you know?
So
And
what changed for you? When did
um
that change?
I think it's just like I said, just really seeking God, honestly, seeking God in our darkest moments. And like I said, even if I went to God for you or about you,
Hmm.
I came out with something for me and about me.
Hmm.
And He just kept teaching me in that way.
Right.
And it became less about you and more about me.
Hmm.
Because, like I told you, for 3 years, going on or more, God had started saying, mind your business. And I was just all in your business.
Uh huh. Mm. That's something, and just talking about perspectives, like when your perspective changed,
Mm-hmm.
your I feel I can almost you know remember when that happened because it started feeling different.
Mm-hmm.
Started feeling more like a family than
Mm-hmm.
you know what I'm saying
Mm-hmm.
than just we coexisted.
Yeah, yeah,
You know what I'm
yeah.
saying? And no, but that's just big. How when God changes our perspectives, our treatments, and the way that we serve, it changes.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, He did that. He really did. He did that. And I thank God for it. Um, I won't sit here and say that that transition was easy. It took practice because, again, all of the um, role identity that I came into the marriage with, I had already had those, for 30 something years.
Right.
And so and we do that. It's just like I'm a good wife because I do X, Y, and Z. I'm a good husband because I do X, Y, and Z. But seldom do we stop by the creator and say, is this your design?
Right.
Am I on your path?
Right.
You know what I mean? Am I in alignment with what you originally
Mm-hmm.
had in store? And so just being able to sit before God and ask Him that and just let Him work through that. And again, we're not perfect. We're not flawed, or flawless. Let me say that we're very flawed in many areas, but these are some of the areas where I can absolutely say that, like you, I agree with you. We've grown, and it became more of something that not that we heard, but something that we felt.
And another thing, just what I'm hearing and I'm pulling from that is that marriages have identities.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And marriages are going to be unique by
Mm-hmm.
design because two individuals are unique by
Yeah.
design. And so I could treat you like Bob treats his wife, even though he treats his wife
Mm-hmm.
great. You know,
Mm-hmm.
it still wouldn't be enough for Gwen
Mm-hmm.
because that's not your unique design.
Mm-hmm.
So when we're asking God, you know, about us or about my mate, was how do I love this person to the way that you've designed them,
Mm-hmm.
that
Mm-hmm.
they deserve to be.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? That
Yeah.
they respond to.
Mm-hmm.
And so,
And I say that often. You know, I had to during this process and another transformation season for me. It was my prayers changed, and so rather than praying for my husband, or teach me how to be a wife, it was like teach me how to be Corey's wife. And so those are the things I remember,
mm-hmm,
just in those, like I said, the defining roles. I know I thought I had the game and was gone with it.
mm-hmm,
All I needed was a ring.
mm-hmm,
Everything else, and I didn't even really need a ring because I initially wanted us to be get tattoos
mm-hmm.
on our fingers. So I never. It was just like, I don't know. The marriage was good enough for me, but I just thought I came fully loaded.
Right. Just built for it.
And honey, by the time he started working on me, I was empty.
It's hard. Marriage is hard because again, it's a lot of self work.
Yeah, yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah.
And at the same time, you don't get the withdrawal to lick your wounds. You
Mm-hmm.
know, you got to do it in motion,
Mm-hmm.
if that makes sense.
Yeah. And one of the things I was thinking of when you just said that literally just flashed before my eyes is, I'm doing some DIY stuff. So uh, I'm gluing some things together, and it's like I'm gluing two pieces together to make one piece.
Mm-hmm.
But as an example, if I don't put those pieces together where it's a perfect fit, then they won't hold what I need it to.
Mm.
However, the way that I see marriage, as far as being able to come together and make that one, to what you were saying, when we come with our own ideas, our own identities, that's supposed to supersede the identity of Christ or identity that Christ has designed for us. It's like having something on the base of both of those pieces already.
Mm-hmm.
Gunk, junk,
Mm-hmm.
old glue.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Old glue.
Mm-hmm.
And I can glue them together, but it's not gonna be sealed.
It's deformed.
It's gonna be deformed, and it's eventually going to come apart easier
Mm-hmm.
because there was old glue there.
Mm-hmm.
So unless I scrape all of the old off,
Ooh.
clean it up, you know what I mean,
You teaching.
and give it a new surface, then it'll actually hold,
Mm-hmm.
and it's unbreakable. So
Mm-hmm.
that's how I felt.
Mm-hmm.
It was just like stuff. And so when I say I was empty, it was a good thing because my relationship with God had grown so much that I then knew, fill me up.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So it was a good empty
Right.
and fill me up. So I was able to, yeah, really truly be transformed in that season.
So question number 18.
Okay.
That was good, by the way.
Thank
That was a wonderful teaching example.
you.
What was your priority?
Um, my priority was my children.
Mm-hmm.
You know me. It was hands down always was going to be my children and then my family. But like I said, it wasn't that you weren't priority. It was a checklist of what I thought my priority should be. You know, cooking, cleaning, serving, all the things. And so he's good. You know what I mean? I remember, tapping in when we were dating, just like, what? what are your dreams and aspirations?
Mhm.
Um, and even that, sewing into that. However, those were my checklist things. I thought that was pretty much it. And then my heart, my soul, sweat, blood, tears, everything went into children, and then grandchildren start coming.
Mhm.
And even I can say family, I can say community. It was so many things that was originally my priority.
Mhm. So what are your priorities now?
Us.
Mhm.
Ain't got nothing else to do. No, I'm just playing. Um, the priorities even before now. It didn't take that long, I don't think, for me to get to a point where, and that because Brandon and Adriana were still living at home, so get to the point where I realized my husband has to come first.
Mhm.
And I remember having that conversation with them, and they thought it was just like I just adopted them out. You know what
Mhm.
I mean? They didn't
Mhm.
understand what I was saying
Right.
when I told them like you come first.
Mhm.
So just understanding that because putting you first is putting me first,
Mhm.
and for so long I did put everybody needs, cares before me. And they started getting older, starting having their own lives, making decisions that even if I wasn't in agreement with it, they were becoming adults.
Right.
Um, and there was nothing that I could do about it. And so they actually helped to shape that for me and helped me put that in alignment,
Mhm.
because it's like I was able to see the lifetime,
Mhm.
in us
Right.
versus the cutoff game, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? And me having to send them out into the world. So it was like, what was the point in having this union, you know what I mean, when I was not getting the fullness of it because I would not let one season
Mhm.
um, not go, but grow into the space that it was supposed to be
Right. I want to speak honestly right here, but I
in.
want to say this first. Hopefully, another reason that you were able to reprioritize is because you understood I made them a priority as well.
Mm-hmm.
And I think when people hear that, they hear it's a choice, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
you choosing him over me, and it's
Mm-hmm.
not like that. It's like we choose y'all.
Yeah, we.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And knowing that they're gonna be taken care of and not neglected,
Yeah.
treated less
Yeah.
than. You
Mm-hmm.
know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Made to feel like
Mm-hmm.
you inferior
Mm-hmm.
to
Mm-hmm.
what we're doing
Yeah. Yeah.
rather than inclusive into what we're doing.
Yeah. I agree with that.
And just a hard fact right now, really dealing with loss in my family. And it's things like this that makes me think because people always ask the question, why do bad things happen to good people? And that question always remains, there is no good person. There's none good but God. Saying that to say this, because sin is in the world, we live in a broken society and we form broken unions. You know what I'm saying? And it's one of the tragedies that happen. Um, and even if you were married, right? You know what I'm saying? Who's to say how that marriage would end up? But when we have just brokenness in relationships because we didn't handle them the way that God did, and it produces things, and then we decide we're gonna shape it up, and we're still dealing with again baggage, emotional scars, and traumas, and that's why it's just a brokenness in this world because we think we know better than God. You know what I'm saying? Same thing that happened in the garden, the fall, thinking you know better than God.
Mm-hmm.
You shall not surely die. You know, um, but there comes a payday, right? And what I'm saying by that, to put it all together, is we still suffer brokenness from doing things our way,
Mm-hmm.
and but even have to readjust to say, okay, this is how God designed family to be.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And the grace is, there's always been blended families in the Bible.
Yeah.
Joseph, Jesus's earthly
Mm-hmm.
father,
Mhm.
You know, it was his stepfather.
Right.
You know, but he raised Jesus as his own. What a
Right.
task! You know what I mean? To father in the flesh, the King of the universe,
Mhm.
the Savior
Mhm.
of all people.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And I think too. I can remember just seeing your transition from that single mindedness, you know what I mean? Single decisions, single all of those things. And I do agree with you. Just listening to you, it's like, yeah, um, just mama bear, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know that it's a bad thing, a good thing. It was just something, like you said, when I saw you come in agreement with, um, like the thought, let's just say you were mentioning that our family, it's a lot of grief going on right now. Back home, um, here, it's just a lot. And, God forbid something were to happen to me, that was that thing, you
Mm-hmm.
know, like who would love my babies like me?
Mm-hmm.
Who's gonna take care of them like me?
Mm-hmm.
And so, yeah, once you honestly let your guard down, because like you said, you haven't always been great at maintaining relationships and with people. So once you let your guard down, they let their guard down, I let my guard down, and again, levels,
Mm-hmm.
we were able to really all follow your lead on that.
Mm-hmm.
And but by you and I coming into agreement
Mm-hmm.
with, this is how we are going to demonstrate, and this is how we are going to go forward with the kids. And we sat down and we had that conversation, which again is very important, especially not just for blended families, but for parents in general. Have that conversation, couples in general. What kind of parents are we going to be?
Mm-hmm.
Because I say something to somebody and then you come and say something else, and we had a brief moment where that was just like, I wouldn't have said that, and or I wouldn't have done that, I wouldn't have agreed to that.
Mm-hmm.
And they all, honestly, I can't say any of them have not always had you wrapped around their pinky.
Mm-hmm.
And especially the girls. So a lot of things you would agree with, I wouldn't.
Mm-hmm.
Even to this day. But just being able to them seeing our united front is what I'm getting at. When we
Mm-hmm.
prioritized us,
Mm-hmm.
then they were able to say, "Oh, okay, they're one."
Mm-hmm.
So I can't go now to Corey and you know what I mean,
Yeah.
and then he go against Mama.
Mm-hmm.
That was working. This ain't gonna work. I can't go to Mama now, and
Mm-hmm.
Pops over here gonna be like,
Mm-hmm.
I take that hit.
Right.
And sometimes you do, but I think they know they had to see us,
Right.
prioritize us.
Right.
Yeah. Where we at?
18, because I didn't answer.
Oh, you didn't? I thought you did.
No, you answered for me.
No, I thought you were answering that whole time.
No.
We're
I'm
gonna
just
have to run
speaking
it
on
back
your
again.
answers. I'm just going on
Okay.
speaking off of your answers.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
My priority was myself, and then my priority became you, and all those it was wrong. You know what I'm saying? Until I made Christ my priority.
Yes.
That's really when the shift started changing. And it's hard now, even still battling with those three. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Do I please Gwen? Do I please myself? Do I please the Lord? And so it comes to, well, Lord, as long as I'm pleasing you, you know what I'm saying?
Yep, that's for me will be pleased.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
And so even if this, causes a disruption,
yeah,
I'm doing it because you said it. I'm saying it because you said it.
Yeah.
I'm standing on it because you told me to.
Yeah.
And that's just it. You
Absolutely.
know what I'm saying? Let the chips fall where they may. And it's not to say, that's not to sound ugly. It's to say that I trust God to put it together.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Not that I don't care how you feel. It's like when I have to stand on business, kingdom business.
Yeah.
I know that God is going to supply whatever is needed in that season, whether it sparks something in you, you
Mm-hmm.
know, ugly, or it sparks something in you great.
Yeah.
Either way, God is doing a work,
Yeah.
and I
Yeah.
trust the work.
I love that.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's good, babe.
yeah. So
Number, is it your answer?
19, yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I want to make sure I'm not. Okay. Moving on too fast. 19. What did you give up coming into your marriage, or lose?
Going back 18, I gave up selfish ambition, um, and whew, so that's really deeper than it sounds. Not all the selfish things like me, but even some of the we call it me time stuff. You know, sometimes even that has to go, and it's not selfish, right? It's just putting other people's interests first, putting my family's interests first. So that's what I gave up, and what I lost is uh, loneliness. You know, I didn't lose anything that I regret losing.
That's good. That's good. Um, I gave up the same thing with like 18. I gave up the, mama bear thing, just kind of being guarded with my babies, and um, trusting you with them.
Mm-hmm.
And I won't even, let me just retract that. Not so much of trusting you with them, trusting the God in you with them.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean that.
Mm-hmm.
But I didn't lose a lot of, I didn't lose anything. I've gained, and that's the truth. What I've gained, even the things that I no longer do or entertain or people, but I just gained way more than I can't think of a loss. I lost the single life.
Mm-hmm.
But I can't think of anything that I lost, because it has been a gain, like you said, good, bad, or indifferent. It has been a gain.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I'm just not a lost person. I don't take
Yeah.
no L's, and I mean that. I'm standing on that.
Right.
I don't take no L's, so it's all lessons for me.
Right.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And I confess to that.
Mm.
You know, whatever loss is gained.
Yeah.
Um, like Apostle Paul
Yeah.
was speaking of, you know, whatever things that I lost, I count as gain for the excellency
Mm-hmm.
of the knowledge of His passing
Yep.
glory
Yep.
of Christ Jesus, and that's what it is. You know, once we made our commitment with Christ, understanding that if I lose anything, it was for His glory.
Yeah. Yeah.
Whatever I gained, it was for His glory.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And coming into identify that way, and that's why I say in a marriage and all these things, um, they can happen in a normal marriage,
Yeah.
whether Christ is
Yeah.
the center or not.
Absolutely.
But I believe the bigger thing is that, like I said, I'm getting my husbandry from Christ.
Mm-hmm.
I'm getting my identity from Christ.
Yeah.
And so when we talk about a kingdom marriage, that's when Christ is at the center.
Mm-hmm.
You understand what I'm saying? And what we do, what we don't do, we do it for the glory of the King.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, we just slid right into 20. So again, what did you gain? All of the things that we just talked about.
Mm-hmm.
Just the wisdom, the knowledge, the relationship. And one of the things I can say I gained is still learning that the first relationship that I have to man is the one between me and God.
Mm-hmm.
I am no earthly good to anybody until I got that one together.
True
And
story.
so often we are worried, even just, humans being humans, we're really concerned about fleshly relationships,
Mm-hmm.
friendships. I see it all the time, and people fake, and people disloyal, and people this and people that, and it's just like, but that's not the relationship.
Mm-hmm.
More importantly, what I gained is being able to see how I treat that relationship.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
When I'm complaining about my fleshly relationships,
Mm-hmm.
it's like, but we handle the relationship with Christ any old kind of way, and we don't think twice about it.
Right.
So, real talk. That's how I've had that's where I became more God conscious. So if I gained anything, I gained that.
Mm-hmm.
You don't want this person or your kids or whomever your family to treat you like this, but it's okay for you to do it to God.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Same scenario I was telling you about, like cursing. I have a pet peeve. Corey would tell y'all that about cursing, especially in front of my elders, and I'm closer to 50 than not, and I still don't do it, and I can't stand when I see anyone do it. And one of the things that again, just to what I was saying, made me think, it's like, but God hear you all the time. You know what I
Right.
mean? I'm conscious about not doing it to my elders, but God
Right.
created my elders, and I don't have reverence for Him
Mm-hmm.
all day, every day, twice on Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm concerned about the fleshly relationships.
Mm-hmm.
So it's those things,
Mm-hmm.
and just understanding He's holy
Mm-hmm.
all day, every day, but He is the relationship. He is my Father. Even when you can't be my companion, He's my companion.
Mm-hmm.
He's my comforter. He's everything.
Absolutely.
And so that's what I gained, but I had to suffer and endure a lot. But last thing I'm gonna say is, when we suffer in Christ, it hit different.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Mm-hmm.
it really does.
Mm-hmm.
When though for those of us that's in Christ, we may suffer, but it hit different.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I hope that makes sense.
It does hit
Yeah.
different, but
Yeah.
it hit different for the fact that even after this, I'm going to be more like him.
Yeah.
And and that's one of the things people don't really fully understand. And I know how it sound on the surface.
Mm-hmm.
When we talk about suffering makes us better, like there's pleasure in pain. There's
Mm-hmm.
all the things, and it's like y'all sound crazy. And we definitely would sound crazy
Mm-hmm.
if you're not aware of the kingdom in which we speak of.
Yeah, yeah,
You would have to have that kingdom experience for this to make sense.
yeah,
On the surface, it sounds crazy, like I've lost my mind. Like y'all done lost your mind.
yeah, yeah,
And I have.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely, you took the words out of my
And
mouth. That's
I
what I was gonna
have.
say.
I lost
Hopefully,
my mind to gain the mind of Christ.
Come on,
You know
because
what
that's
I'm
what I
saying?
was
I
thinking.
had to lose mine.
Yeah, absolutely. Hopefully.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I've gained a lot. I've gained, man, because I compare my story to almost like the story of Ruth.
Mm.
When Naomi, especially, she had two boys, and then she had two uh, daughters in love, and then she ended up with just one. And I felt like when I met you, I was like Naomi, everything I loved was gone or being taken from me.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? I was stripped bare.
Mm-hmm.
And I felt like that you saw that brokenness more so than all the other things I were entertaining, knowing that they were just fillers, something to fill a gap.
Mm-hmm.
And, I even tried to drive you away. Some of the things I was doing is to purposely drive you away, but you here we are. You know what I'm saying?
Relentless.
And but Ruth told Naomi, she said, "Your God should be my God. Your people should be my people." And that's something we hear at a wedding a lot of times. You know what I'm saying? And so that's our Ruth Naomi story to me. We became one through that suffering, and through that, Naomi found Boaz, and Boaz birthed Obed, and Obed birthed King David, and then King David's lineage birthed the Christ. So what I'm saying by that is, once I was empty, but now I'm so full. You know what I'm saying? Not only do I have a wife, but I have kids, and I don't only have kids, but I have grandkids. You know what I'm saying? My
Mm-hmm.
quiver is full,
Mm-hmm.
and the grandbabies think I'm the dopest thing ever, and I don't
Oh
do nothing but
God.
just be.
B.
You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
so it's like they're telling me, that's God telling me, son, you enough.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
Yeah. I
saying?
love that.
I love you.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I feel God's love through the love of our grandchildren.
Yeah.
And why I light up, when I see them, I could be having the worst day ever, and hey, Papa,
Mm-hmm.
I'm
Yeah.
I'm back, baby, I'm back. They
Yeah.
brought me back a lot of times.
Yeah.
So when I say that I've gained more than I lost, I really mean that. I'm full. I'm full.
Yeah. I love that. Same here. Okay, guys, we got two more because we are about out of time, but we can get through these two. Um, it says, let me get my glasses on. Okay. Is there anything you wish or need to address?
Mm, I think that we address things as they come up.
Mm-hmm.
I think we give each other the grace and the time to see if it self corrects.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, okay, we got a problem, Houston.
Mm-hmm.
I got to speak to this.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so I love the way our communications has improved, even when it hurt, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'd rather have the truth. And even if I don't see it as truth in that moment, I trust God enough and I trust you enough to wrestle with it for a little
Mm-hmm.
bit. And it may be, hints of truth to it that God needed me to see through it. So um, my heart and my mind is clear.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, to know me is to know. I rarely do I store up anything.
Mm-hmm.
So, um, I'm big on the communication. I think that it's also why I'm always sunny side up. You know what I mean? I'm not. I'm very chipper. I just have a bubbly personality. I find a reason to smile daily because I don't hold stuff. I try not to hold or harbor. Like you said, I love our communication. There's nothing that I need to address because if the need arises, I address it. I've learned that I don't have to speak to everything.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have to address everything. But what, like you said, what doesn't, um, if it's something that I need you to, see, I'm learning now to pray. And God is so good because I'll see those moments where you will, before you wouldn't initiate a conversation, but now you will.
Mm-hmm.
And so those are those moments when I prayed, like, for for God to show you even whatever the need is, if it's
Mm-hmm.
just check on her or
Mm-hmm.
she needs to talk.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't feel like there's anything that I need to address either because I do that.
Right.
We do that.
Right.
What? Why you laugh?
The way you said it,
What?
because I do that.
I do. Communication is a major key in marriage. I believe. My opinion.
It definitely is.
I don't know if everybody
anything
agrees, but
in any relationship.
yeah, it is. So no.
Anytime you're dealing with more than one person,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Communication is key. The Bible says, "Can two walk together unless they agree?"
No.
So.
And I am more than one person by myself, so
Wee.
I have to communicate daily.
Bless your heart and all your parts.
And all the parts.
Um, Number 22. Did your upbringing have any impact on your perspective of marriage?
I feel like we answered that was it last week in 3? Or, yes. Um, yeah, I can say mine's did. I didn't see, now we have them in our family. Um, Longevity marriages. And I honestly, believe it or not, it's more of like the younger generation, kind of like under my mom and aunts and uncles, that generation down. I'm starting to see more of those old school 20-year, 30-year marriages.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so I seen a lot of divorce, but it was just like divorce. If divorce solved the problem, then why was people getting divorce so much.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Um, remarried and divorced. So divorce never seemed like a solution for me, but that was something that the marriages that I saw, it was almost like it made me scared to be married because I felt like as soon as you got married, you instantly hated each other, and it was doomed. Like,
Mm-hmm.
no, don't do it. You're
Mm-hmm.
you're not gonna be together. That was my mindset.
Mm-hmm.
So I always felt like when you got married, people instantly hate each other.
Really?
Yeah, I don't no lie.
Mm-hmm.
And it was going to result in a divorce
Mm-hmm.
because I seen it so much. Um, I did not. Uh, I never knew the sacredness in marriage.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Yeah.
so that uh, definitely impacted my perspective. Um, and just because, like I told you, my history, my
Right.
journey with all of that, so it scared me. If I can say anything, it scared me, and marriage scared me.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't know. Was that it? That's your answer?
that is, yeah, my upbringing, and we talked about that. Like I said, there's other answers. I don't want to skim over it, but yes, the communication, um, the way that I spoke to you when we did have disagreements, crossing boundaries, all of those things. So my family did impact my marriage to that magnitude. I never allowed them to impact it as far as input. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Nobody. That's just me, my makeup. I'm too rebellious in so many areas that was just off limits. So I thank God for that. Nobody could. My family, my friends, I used to tell you that all the time. I can talk to people, you know what I mean? But 9 times out of 10, you're not gonna sway me one way or the other. If I make a decision, I'm making this decision.
Mm-hmm.
I'm making my decision.
Mm-hmm.
So I think just growing up, my family, they knew that about me.
Besides that, though, how did it impact you and your like? I got it from the input, but what did it imprint? May I put it that way?
And that is the imprint, the fear that marriage was not sacred. It was just literally a revolving door
Mm-hmm.
that was going to ultimately result in divorce.
Mm-hmm. So why did you get married?
When I tell you, I don't even remember um, when my mind shifted to wanting to be.
Mm-hmm.
But I was engaged to Brandon's dad. I was with him for 10 and a half years. I was engaged to him. And that one is the one that I actually opened my mind up to. And when it did not happen after 15 months of planning, I shut it again.
Mm-hmm.
Like, shut down on no, this is not for me.
Mm-hmm.
So when I tell you, I don't even remember when my mind was back open to marriage. I just started praying for a husband,
Mm-hmm.
like for my husband, not even for a husband. I just started praying for my husband,
Mm-hmm.
and then all of this just came, and I think that's why I was so blown away after we got married. It was just like we moved fast.
Mm-hmm.
What, a year?
Mm-hmm.
Was it? I don't know if it was a full
Good
year.
year.
Was it a
Yeah.
year? It was a
Good
full year.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so a
And
year.
some change.
I don't know about change, but
Days.
barely. Okay,
Yeah, some sense.
some sense. So yeah, and so I think that's where the anxiety hit, and I had to pull over, and I was just like, "What did we just do?"
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
Yeah. I don't. I don't remember how it impacted me, but I guess it impacted me by um, like whoever married into my family, it didn't feel like they married into my family. It just felt like family.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? Like if my aunt, if I married my uncle, it's aunt, and I mean it. Like,
Mm-hmm.
you
Mm-hmm.
know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Or uncle married one of my aunts, his uncle, and I mean it. Like,
Mm-hmm.
it's no distinction. You know what I'm saying? It's like they're a unit. Like they go together, been going together since like they were born, my aunt and uncle, if that makes sense.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And they were always around, present. You know what I'm saying? Didn't really they showed no distinction, you know, and so that's the biggest impact I remember from marriages coming up. Is just like these people are a unit. You know what I mean? Like they won. Like you know, I didn't know
Mm-hmm.
have words for it, but I knew if I seen one, I seen the other.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and the other loved me just like the other one did,
Mm-hmm.
blood or not. You
Mm-hmm.
know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so that was the positive impact. And I don't in the marriage I saw right in front of me, you know, I seen my mom. My mom was like, she was ride or die. You know what
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
To the point I thought it was like, you foolish. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But she believed in the power of that oneness. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah.
And you was talking about how we had to sit the kids down and was talking about priorities. And I remember when she told me her priority changed and it wasn't me. Oh, 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 the agony. So I can imagine how, you know, I can imagine how that could come across.
Mm-hmm.
However, I don't think I didn't really have that relationship with my stepdad that I have with our
Mm-hmm.
kids,
Mm-hmm.
you know, for one reason or another.
Yeah.
And again, I don't put all blame on them, on
Mm-hmm.
him. You know, one, he's not here to tell this story.
Right.
And then two is I know that I'm a lot. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I know that I'm a lot. And but yeah, that's I just seen marriage is I don't think I understood the sanctity,
Mm-hmm.
the godliness of it, what it represents. But
Mm-hmm.
I just seen people stick
Forever
around.
held.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
seen people stick around. Yeah, and just you know, family.
You said something that made me laugh internally because I have we have like aunts and uncles and all of that as far as in loves, in laws. But even as a little girl, I can remember not being that person to accept them right off the bat. They had to be around
Mm-hmm.
for a very long time for me to equate that to my uncle or my aunt.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't do it.
Mm-hmm. And for me, they were already there.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like when I came,
Oh, they were already there, so you didn't know any difference.
I didn't know any different,
Okay.
and that's why I said it just seemed like they
Mm-hmm.
forever been one.
Yeah.
But that's the type of marriages, you know, in on my mom's side for longevity.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And then on my dad's side for longevity, they've been there as long as I can remember too.
Right.
You know what I'm
Right.
saying? So it wasn't like who are these new ninjas? You know, it wasn't that. It
Yeah.
was like
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I could get that. I would be.
Yeah.
I think I would have been speculative that way too.
Yeah. Yeah. Because it's again. I think now I'm able to put language to it, but then I didn't know what it was, and now I can literally say that. Well, I get close to you, and then you guys don't work out. You know what I mean? Now, because what one thing I will say is that oftentimes blended in marriages, blended families are not just limited to your home.
Mm-hmm.
One thing I can honestly say, and especially with us doing ministry in our home, from Bible study to the podcast, counseling, uh, so many people, countless people, it's one of those things where we've had to actually, realize that other people are connected to us. And
Mm-hmm.
so, how we lead, how we demonstrate, how we handle um, this ministry is also going to determine how other people, the people that are connected to us, is impacted.
Right.
And I see that in marriages too. And so I think that the little girl in me was standoffish because it's just, I became accustomed to not seeing it work. So I'm not going to get used to you being my aunt or my uncle. Let me see if you stick around.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
I think that's a part of human nature.
Yeah.
You got some people that just inviting from the get go.
Yeah, yeah.
But for the most part, human nature is I got to see what you made of.
Yeah.
Before I trust it. And again, the fortunate situation is the people that I call aunt and uncles who are not necessarily blood, and they've been there.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They still there, and I admire them. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I really do. Like,
Mm-hmm.
Blood, no blood. Like,
yeah. We family forever.
We locked in.
Yeah, we locked in.
Mm-hmm.
I love that. Well, we have come to the very end. Thank y'all so much. Today was really a push day for us, for our Dixon family. So just keep us in prayer. But we will definitely be back. You can find us every Monday on YouTube at Kingdom Kids Know. Next week we are getting into number 5, which is responsibility. And I'm excited to get into this. But also you can follow us on Facebook, Kingdom Kids Know, Instagram, Kingdom Kids _Nope, and on TikTok, Kingdom Kids Know. So I hope that you guys sit with these questions, sit with your spouse, and even if you break it down and just do maybe a section a week like we're doing, I think it's great dialogue. It's a great way to just tap in and also, like this segment, reflect. So I do hope it bless you guys. What you got to say?
That's all I got to say. What you said. That's all I had to say. What you said.
Okay.
So guys, y'all tune in next week.
Make kingdom kids, kingdom kids, kingdom kids.
Come on.
Kingdom kids.
Come on. Follow me.